How did your experience in radio as a radio host shape your communication philosophy?
If we communicate like people on the radio do, I call it visual language. Even when we are talking and communicating face to face, there are signs that we lose because we are not that good communicators.
Why do you think we are not good communicators?
I fail to think, what do I want that people to feel? Do not go into a conversation or to a presentation, a public speaking event, without asking 3 questions. What do I want them to know, to do, and to feel?
Can communication really be learned, or is something natural within everyone?
I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't learned. I wouldn't be here.
Any leader secretly struggling to speak clearly in meetings, what advice would you give to that person?
A meeting is like a football game. You have to put everyone you can on the field.
Do you think that this digital communication has made us better or worse communicators?
Worse.
Why? What is this Kilimanjaro experience?
Huge challenge of going with a group of leaders to climb Kilimanjaro.
I understand it's transformational.
I hope so. It's the first time I go, so I think that it will be.
Hello, Carla.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you here today in the show.
My pleasure.
For people that don't know you, at least it may be difficult in Portugal because you are a famous person, but internationally you are a radio host for more than 30 years. But around 10 years ago,
Yes.
you also started helping leaders to improve their communication skills and also being a teacher in Nova business schools in topics related with communication. And you are also an author of several books, which includes this one that we
Yes.
have here. And for that, this one here. Was this a good introduction or did I miss anything, Carla?
It was perfect. So I'm a person who believes in the power of communication. And also I believe that we continue learning about human relationships and human communication throughout our lives. And this is what I do. I help people to improve the way they relate in their professional or personal life when communication has this impact, of course.
How did your experience in radio as a radio host shape your communication philosophy?
I started to think how organic communication was on the radio. We create a kind of a connection to people that never met us, right? We don't have image. You only hear the voice of the person or the people who are behind the mic. And despite that, we feel that those those people, they are family and friends. We feel like we can go for a coffee with them. And when I started to work in the organizations, I realized that this is not what happens in the corporate world. People don't create relationships. We don't have friends most of the time in our jobs. That is because communication is very aseptic. We communicate the facts, we communicate the information, but we rarely stop to think and to ask how do people feel, what are their motivations. And I started to work with leaders with this in mind. If we communicate like people on the radio do, making sure that we tell stories, we can show the importance of what's in stake, we can create better relations in the workplace. And it all started with the radio, yes, as you said. Using some techniques, teaching some techniques that we use. I call it visual language, like giving examples, like being concrete on what you are saying, like motivating people and making sure that not only you speak to their heads, but you also speak to their hands, meaning what should they do with the information, and to their hearts. What's the connection? Why should I care? And we do that on the radio and not so much in the corporate world. So that's when I found out that maybe I can be useful.
You also have some books published around these topics, specifically the one that I showed, which is called Fale Menos, Comunique Mais in Portuguese. What inspired you to also write this book and the other books?
Yeah, the first one, the title is Talk Less, Communicate More, because I believe that we all talk too much. We talk a lot. Most of the people, the inspiration was feeling that, yes, we live in a very noisy world. We all want to have a voice and we all want to spread our ideas, but we take too long to do it. And again, on the radio, we do that in 10 seconds. I have to make my point in 10 seconds. I have to close a main idea in 10 seconds. I don't get to use half an hour to say one idea or two. So the inspiration was the starting point. Let's think about what techniques, again, what strategies can we have to make sure that we not only talk, but in fact we communicate, meaning that the other person really knows what's in stake, knows the message is clear, and we have the power to influence them, because it's a lot of the book is about influence. How can you influence people through communication, through the way you connect with them?
When you speak with someone in person, you have that feedback mechanism, right? You can see if the message is getting there. But on the radio, that's difficult, right? It's one direction. Mm-hmm. So all the tricks need to be from the person that emits the message to make sure that the message gets there.
When we talk in person, you said we have the nonverbal and we have, yes, we do. But my question is, are we paying attention to that? Or are we paying attention to what we are saying, how we are reacting? We are not that good observers. I wish we were. Mm-hmm. Even when we are talking and communicating face to face, there are signs that we lose because we are not that good communicators. And one of the main messages of the 3 books is, if we want to improve our communication skills, we need to stop, we need to listen, look, observe people around us, observe the impact that we create, and only then adapt. Mm-hmm. But I believe there's a lot of work to do.
Why do you think we are not good communicators? Is it because we are worried in passing the message and not listening to others and seeing how others are receiving it?
We are really self-centered. I think about an idea. Let me give you an example. I'm going to do a presentation to my team. I'm a leader and I'm preparing a presentation to my team. I'm thinking about the data and the graphics and what happened in the last semester, and I'm organizing all the information. But I fail to think, what do I want that people to feel with that? What's the action plan? What do I want them to do? And how can I do the empathy path? What are they thinking about this that I'm about to inform them or that I'm about to present? We don't prepare our communications thinking about the other person or the people in the room. We think about, I want to say this, so I will organize my information and say it in 20 minutes or 20. And when you do this preparation based on, okay, I have an audience, whether it's 30 people, 1,000, or even one, and you think about what you want to say to that person or to that people, but in a way that it starts with them and not from us. This is one of the main ideas and one of the frameworks that we use is do not go into a conversation or to a presentation, a public speaking event, without asking 3 questions. What do I want them to know, to do, and to feel? Because when you have those 3 dimensions, you're talking to the heads of that people or person, you are talking to the hands, to the head, to the hands, and to the heart. And those are the 3 dimensions that I believe that sometimes fail to be in communications in the workplace, whether it's a meeting or a presentation. And we still need to feel connection, right?
Do you think that's the biggest mistake people make when they are trying to communicate well?
I think the biggest mistake is communicating from a point, communicating as if everyone was the same, had been in the same school as I was, had the same parents, have the same preferences. So we tend to communicate in our own style all the time, and not only to ourselves. If I'm very authentic, but authentic in a way that I say what I think and I don't think before I speak, I tend to be aggressive when I speak, right? And I may say, okay, people know I'm aggressive, so I say what I have to say. And this is my style. And I don't adapt to people that may be sensitive. I'm not doing the work. So that's why I say one of the biggest mistakes is communicating to everyone equally in a way that we don't adopt. We just start from our profile and assume that everyone is like ourselves. Sometimes we say, "Oh, I talk and they don't understand." So maybe it's not they don't understand. Maybe is I didn't did my job to adapt and to communicate in a way that they would understand.
Is there a trick that you can share with us here today? Because I'm imagining I'm speaking to an audience of 10, 100, 1,000. There may be very different personalities and profiles in the audience, right? So how can I adapt my speech to that diversity of people and profiles?
Yeah, think about what kind of profiles may you have. 5, 6. Let's say you are speaking to the whole company, and you have people from the marketing, HR.
Yes.
You have the operational, you have IT. Once in a while in your speech, just make sure they know you are speaking to them, and you can say, "I know that for some of you at IT, this is your concern, but HR would have a different one." Blah 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 blah, and I'm sure that people will. It's a glimpse. It's no big deal, but it's just making sure that everyone in the room feels that you are speaking to each and one of them, and not to a crowd, I would say.
Can communication really be learned, or is something natural within everyone?
I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't learned. I wouldn't be here talking to you, or I wouldn't have a company for 11 years where we teach communication. But it's funny for you to have that question, because when I started the company, so I had my career on the radio and I started my communication training company, and some people would come to me and ask, is it really working? Because you work especially with leaders, right? Will they tell you eye on eye that they don't communicate well? Will they confess that to you? Because for them, it would sound like almost something that would, something that would diminish that leader, that they could be ashamed of, by assuming they would not communicate well. And yes, I was scared in the beginning, but with time, I feel that people know that communication has a huge impact in our lives, the way we communicate and the way people communicate with us. And I feel that people are willing to learn, because we are in this fast-paced world, noisy. We don't have time. We tend to not prepare what we want to write or present or speak, and it's not working. It's not working.
Okay.
We tend to be aggressive, or we tend to be permissive. We tend to be aggressive on the way we state our ideas, or on the other hand, we tend not to express our ideas, and it's not fair. In one way, you can hurt people; on the other, you will not. You will hurt yourself. So, what I believe is, we deserve to communicate who we are, our ideas, in a way that people like to hear, and maintain the interest in us. And this you need to train. I don't believe it's learned. Maybe a short percentage of the world population has that on their DNA, but most of us, we need to learn.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Any leader that found this video clicked because he is secretly struggling to speak clearly in meetings, what advice would you give to that person?
Okay, for meetings, a leader who has to run meetings. A meeting is like a football game. You have to put everyone you can on the field.
Wow.
And the difference between a boring meeting or a dynamic meeting is participation, interaction. So if those people in the meeting feel that they will be called, they will be not multitasking for sure. So one of the advices that I give is, please tell them the rules of the game. Start your meeting saying, this is going to be really interactive. I'm going to speak with you because I will want to hear from João about the project X. And then Liliana will come because she had an interaction with the client and will also share whatever it is. So if you state the rules in the beginning and people know that they will be called, wow, it's like a radio show. I have one of the online courses that we first recorded during COVID was exactly about remote meetings. And it was all the techniques that I've learned on the radio. I put them into a meeting to make sure that meetings wouldn't be boring, but they would be dynamic. And it was a way of teaching leaders and people who run meetings to make sure that people are not multitasking and that they like, in fact, being on that meeting, because it adds something to their days and to their projects. And it's not just another moment in the calendar that they say, oh my God, another meeting. We are really done with that.
You use the example of multitasking because that's, let's be honest, that's the reality when people are in remote calls and they are bored. They simply disconnect cameras, they alt tab, and they're looking at their email, social media, and then they just wait if they have that skill to, did I hear my name? And then they come in, they jump in, they turn on the microphone and they say something, or they say yes, or they say, I'll look into
randomly,
it.
right?
Randomly, that happens. That happens. So do you think that this digital communication through Zoom, emails, even written communication has made us better or worse communicators?
Worse.
Why?
Because we, especially in remote meetings, we are really lazy in preparing. Preparation is everything in a remote meeting. And you don't have to take too long preparing a meeting. It's just having in mind that it's more than the information that you will convey, or it's more than the agenda that you have on the meeting. Is what are those people doing during that hour? What are the roles? Joana is stating the main ideas of the meeting. João is telling us how long do we have until the next topic. Just make sure people are busy doing things in the meeting, not outside the meeting. And this depends on the leader and depends on the way the leader communicates, obviously, and especially how he or she connects the dots and make sure everyone plays the game. Otherwise, I will be a passive, not even watcher, but a passive listener, because I can have my camera, as you said, off and doing something else.
What's one communication habit you think that everyone should stop immediately?
Talk without thinking. Just talking without thinking, just for half a second, especially in difficult conversations, letting emotions getting in the way and letting aggressive communication and aggressive words come on the way when we lose our temper. Especially in those moments, we need to be the best we can be, because a lot of things it's in stake.
And that works in all contexts, professional, personal. Just stop a little bit, breathe.
Yeah, just stop, breathe, collect your thoughts, make sure the idea and the words that will come out of your mouth are, the words that you really want to convey. Because communication and words have an impact. The way you say things have a huge impact on people and on yourself, because sometimes we regret, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. Maybe half a second and you wouldn't say it
make a
if we
difference.
stop. It would. I believe that communication can make our life flow, and we can have, of course, we all have problems and we all have difficult conversations and we all have conflicts, and they happen, and it's good that they happen, right? Because it means we're different. But thinking for a while and looking to the other person in a way, not as an opponent, but as partnership, and not as something that it's different, meaning bad, but something that it's different and can add something to my perspective, it changes it changes everything. That's why I think that training communication and being aware of the way we communicate in the first place, and then having being conscious about the impact that we have on others, those are the two steps that we need before we start changing.
I left in the video description the links for Carla's books. Carla, are they already available in other languages besides Portuguese?
No, only Portuguese so far. Yeah, for now.
I would like you also to share with us the experience that you had traveling the world, which, if I'm not mistaken, for 2 months across 12 different countries, and you were trying to investigate how communities communicate. And then you created a podcast as well around this experience, which the link is in the video description as well. What did you find, Carla, with this experience?
I had this purpose, as you said, of talking to people. It was a tour around the world, but I wouldn't want it to be touristic. I didn't want to visit monuments. Of course, I did. But half of my day was spent with people around communities, and some people that I would meet, spontaneously. Other people I had interviews pre-scheduled. What did I find? Well, I found that regardless the place in the world, the language, the culture, we connect when we are open to hear, when we are open to what's new and different from our beliefs. And I found places where silence is something, it's like drinking water. It's natural, it's organic. I found places where giving feedback is, when you give feedback, you care. But you give feedback in a way that you show you care. You don't give feedback, again, in an aggressive way with language that will diminish the other person. I found places where communities had this way of taking care of everybody, like in villages in Fiji, for instance. The door is always open. The children are playing in the garden, and everyone is taking care of everyone. And those experiences and the stories that I brought, I put them into a podcast, and I have several episodes. Some countries are one episode, others I had to make 2 episodes, because I believe that the lessons learned, I think we need to hear what is different from us. And despite the differences, how do people live their lives in a way that it's peaceful and quiet? And we need that in our world. We need to take this, basics of communication and human kindness.
I'm assuming that you interacted with these people in English, right? Through English language.
Yes.
Still, you were able to perceive those differences using English?
Yes, because English wasn't the native language, not mine, not there.
Not there. Okay.
And I was, I was in Australia, and they talk English, the United States as well, but most of the countries weren't. I've been in Asia, most of the countries were in Asia. I didn't go to Africa yet. I will go in August.
Season 2?
I have 3 seasons already. I have so many countries and so many stories. The first season is there. It's on air, 1 episode per week. But I have 2 more. So when I go to Africa, maybe I'll have the 4th season of the podcast. I don't know.
It's a good reason to travel, right? It's a good excuse.
It is.
I need to do more 20 podcast episodes. So
yeah. Let's travel. Yeah, I love talking to people, and I love to meet people that think differently, that have different habits, that don't live the life like I do. And I like to understand a little bit more ways of living and ways of communicating, especially.
You mentioned Africa. For me, it's a cue to bring my next question. You co-created what you call the Kilimanjaro Experience. Can you give us a little bit more details about what is this Kilimanjaro Experience?
The travel company is more like a boutique. It's 𝘰𝘰𝘮𝘰 Travel, and they have designed my whole journey around the world. So they put me in contact with ministers. I talked to ministers in Bhutan, in Nepal. I talked to someone from the Indian royal family. So they have lots of contacts, and I was so fascinated with the way they produced the tour around the world that we have been in contact. They're friends, and they have launched me this huge challenge of going with a group of leaders to climb Kilimanjaro, the mountain, the biggest mountain in Africa. And it will happen in August. We still have some places left, not too many, because we have quite a medium group right now.
You mean spots in the group?
Spots in the group, yeah. We still have spots in the group, not too many. We have a group of close to 10 people with us already. And it will be like a journey of discovery. We will have some moments where we will do reflections. We'll think about our improvement points, what are our strengths. And it's not only to climb Kilimanjaro, but also to do this reflection and have this training and all this way of learning how to leader myself and others, and learning how to communicate and relate the best way I can with people around me when I come down from the mountain to my life, to my everyday life.
I understand it's transformational in the intention behind it.
I hope so. It's the first time I go, so I think that it will be, because we will have time to prepare before we go on the tour. The tour will start on the 17th of August, and it will last until the 27th. But before that, we'll do some preparation work, physical and also mental work. We have an expert from mindfulness and well-being and yoga, so we have the right persons in the group to make sure that the experience really counts.
What type of person is this experience designed for? You mentioned leaders.
Yeah, most of the people who are going are leaders, but we have a family as well. 3 people, husband, wife, and their daughter. So, and what I do, because my role there, let's say, is like I will be a trainer, a mentor in the communication and leadership angle. And what I will do is I will call and have conversations with these people. And I'm imagining that the girl will be like 17 or 18 years old, so really different from the point where the father leader is. But I will speak with her and see what she will like to train and to work, and I'll have a plan for her as well. So what I'm trying to say is that regardless the age or the function or the where you are in life right now, we will make sure that it will be meaningful for that person. We will work individually as well.
Besides leadership and communication, is there any other different angle that this journey will work?
That's enough.
It's more than enough already, because it includes climbing Kilimanjaro, which is not easy as well.
Sometimes, you will barely think, because the only thing you can really do is walk. They have this expression, pole pole. It's like one step after the other, small steps, and one after the other. And there will be a time where you will reflect, but you will be quiet in the mountain, breathing and walking, and not much. So we also want to make it light. Light. We will not be in a training room, right? We will not be in a teaching class.
No multitasking.
No multitasking. So there'll be moments where we'll stop, and maybe for half an hour we'll have our reflections, and we'll have like a guidebook or a workbook before and a workbook after. But during the climbing of the mountain, we have to be, open to what is happening and have some light reflection to do, and then just focus on what we want, that it's getting to the top of the mountain.
I understand. In theory, this sounds very exciting, very fun, very transformational. But in practice, we're talking about climbing Kilimanjaro. So what advice would you give someone considering joining but feeling unsure about the safety, about the logistics associated with all this?
You need to prepare. Yeah, I won't say that you can go. It's not a technical climb. It's not like Everest. It's a mountain. It's like a walk, a long walk, a 5-day walk. And sometimes your body will give you signs. You can, if you feel dizzy, you need to go down a bit. If you feel lack of air, but most of the time it doesn't happen. So we need to be really attentive to our body and make sure that if we don't need to get to the top. We want to make the journey, but our claim is it's more than the top of the mountain. It's the walk we do and the people that go with us. That's our claim. So I don't believe, of course, it has risks, but I believe that with preparation and with the group organic, because we will look at each other, and with the right people, and we have a specialist from the mountain that will be with us all the time. So, and people who will guide us and help us with everything that we need to carry. And they're experts. So I'm really open to follow their advices. And if they say I'm not good to go, I won't go. And I hope the same. I expect the same from everyone in the group.
Well, I'm convinced, Carla, and so
okay, come with us.
As a reminder,
João, come with us.
I've left the link for this experience as well in the video description for everyone that is interested in getting to know more information about this experience. Just connect with Carla and her team and see where that conversation takes us. After this Kilimanjaro experience, are there other transformational journeys that you're planning right now?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to go back to Bhutan. You know, Bhutan, a country in Himalayas between India and China. And
you're getting closer to the Everest. You're getting closer to the Everest.
Yeah, I know. I know, but that's not a plan. No, that's not a plan. I think we never say never, but I see people who did it, and I see films and movies, and I found it, I don't know, it's bigger, too big to me. So Kili will be, a friendly mountain. And I don't think Everest is a friendly mountain. I think that people sometimes think that Everest is easy, and I've seen a lot of bad things happening, and I don't want to take that chance. For me, Kili is enough.
Everyone that comes into the show, I like to ask if they could recommend someone that could be an interesting next guest, someone with an interesting profile, project, story. Who would you like to recommend?
There's someone, he's really funny. He also teaches communication, and now he has been teaching AI. It's 𝘰𝘮𝘰𝘮𝘰.
Challenge accepted. Carla, thank you for the recommendation. Okay. And well, who knows, eventually when we can meet each other in person in Portugal or in some adventure out there.
Or in Kili, who knows?
Who knows? Meanwhile, I'll be watching your new podcast and listen to the radio.
Thank you. Thank you, João.
Thank you. Enjoy your day. Goodbye.
Enjoy your day. Bye. Bye, you all.